What's going on, guys? Welcome to the first episode of the Adacademy Podcast, where we talk to other soccer players and they tell us their stories. And most importantly, this gave us the availability to create longer videos and for longer topics. For example, motivation and the mental side of soccer. Anyways, thank you so much for watching and enjoy this talk that we did with Gilbert Garcia. Let's get it started. So just introduce yourself, tell them where you're from, what you do, your age.
Cool. All right. Well, yeah. So my name is Gilbert Garcia, and I'm pretty much a soccer player from El Paso, like Chuco. I'm currently playing. Yeah, I'm currently playing overseas in Spain, and not right now, obviously, because of quarantine and all that stuff. But yeah, I'm over here in Santa Pola in Alicante. And just here, man, just waiting for this quarantine to be over. It's
just getting rougher and rougher, man.
But yeah. I mean, over here in Spain, it's already starting to, like, as of Monday, people in manufacturing and construction, they started going back to work and stuff. So it's slowly getting better.
Yeah.
And I just got off a Zoom call with my team.
Sure.
And the coach was saying that we should know within the next few days if they're going to cancel the league or if we're going to play it out, because we have 6 games left.
Yeah.
And we're currently in first place. We've been in first place since the 3rd game all the way to the 24th, 25th game. So we've been, so like if they cancel the league and no one goes up the league, then we're stuck. So, like it's just ruining the work from the season. From the season. But I don't know. We should know soon. I think they'll let us move up a league, because I mean it's no one's even close to coming to first place. Like we're just by ourselves. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because last season there was another team here in Santa Pola. Mm-hmm. We actually broke up. I guess I don't know, something with the administration and stuff. So they joined us. And from those 2 teams, the coach picked out the best players. Oh. And right now, the team it's good, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good team. Yeah.
That's good. That's good. All right. So, so the way that I think we should do it is like go through phases, like
mm-hmm.
before going all around. So let's start off with high school soccer. Yeah.
Yeah. So obviously, that's where we met. That's where it all started. I mean, it all started when I was a lot younger, but I guess really thinking about, like, if I want to do this for a living, that's when the idea started coming around. Because, like, my freshman year, I was on it, man. I was just focused. Like I was those kids that would play soccer during lunch and come in, like, sweaty and stuff. And, so that's when I think my senior season I really started taking it serious, because my junior year I got hurt at the beginning, and I just stopped showing up, and it wasn't even a bad injury. I saw that the team wasn't doing well, and I don't know, I lost my motivation to play, and the coach ended up kicking me out. My junior year, they kicked me off the team. So senior year, I didn't have the class, like how you have to have the class, like during the off season. I didn't have the class, though. Like I was off the team completely, and I was a senior. It was my last season, and that's when I took it serious, and I just showed up to tryouts. Mm-hmm. And then the coach picked me up because he saw me. Like I told him I'm gonna take it serious now. Like I understand I messed up, and he let me back on the team, and then. Yeah, that's when I started trying to see what schools would pick me up, and I started sending out film and emails and all the networking part of it, because a lot of kids have talent, but they don't have any film, they don't have nothing. So when it comes to playing college, mm-hmm. they don't have anything to show for it, So,
fun fact, actually, the other day I was talking to Aaron Moreno. Remember him?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and how he got scouted for college. And actually, we did talk just like this, and we recorded the whole thing. So, And a lot of kids right now, it's like, actually, some of the questions that I got were actually for college players, how to get scouted for college. And it's funny how you mentioned, like, you just got to send the emails. You have to do a highlight video.
Yep.
You have to email the
Yep.
coaches. And that's pretty much what you have to do. If I would have known that back, I mean, I know I never had high school playing time, but I had a lot of club soccer where I could have filmed myself. And if I would have known that, I could have probably sent it out to college coaches and played college. But
yeah,
the experience is
it's because it's not a thing that like people just know like to do.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm sure in other places, yeah, but in El Paso, it's no one really. We have that mentality like, yeah, we're good. We don't go like above and beyond to make sure we become something. You know, like it's that like we lack a little bit of discipline in doing everything that needs to be done.
Exactly.
And I just started like I actually have pictures of it. I have a screenshot of like 10 emails from 10 different coaches because I was just sending it to everybody, and I didn't care if it was D1, D2, junior college. I didn't care because I was like, they'll pay for your education, you know.
That's right.
So
it's kind of like that's a contract.
Yeah, like that's their way of paying you, is giving you an education. And back then, oh, hold on. Sorry, my mom's calling. And back then, there was no, like, if you didn't go play college and you weren't in an academy, there was no way to make it.
Exactly.
At least now we have the UPSL and things like that, you know?
Yeah.
So, so then, yeah, I just started emailing everybody, and then that's when actually like 4 or 5 schools messaged me back, and they told me that I should come down and try out with the team, and then a few had like combines and stuff, like West Texas A&M. They had a little combine for all the players, and it was invite only. Okay. So
like those ID
I was just yeah. So I mean, you just gotta just get all the film you can, pretty much. And then email everybody, and that's pretty much it. Like getting to that college level, it's if you know those 2 things, it won't be as hard. I mean, obviously you got to be a good player, you know, but El Paso, there's a lot of talent. Yeah. Like I've seen these. Yeah, they're good, man.
How was your process to the college tryouts? Like, were you nervous when you go to them, or what did you feel? No.
No. I used to get nervous when I was younger. When I was I think, let me see. When I was maybe like 14 and stuff, like barely getting into high school, I would get nervous. Because at the same time, I was doing other sports and I was doing track, so I wasn't all the way into soccer.
Yeah.
So I would get nervous. But then I think my dad would always tell me, he's like, if you're gonna do something, do it, like, be confident about it. And that's really where it started coming from. And so when I would show up to these combines, I'm like, nah, like I know what I need to do, and it's just soccer, you know. Like I've been through worse things than this. Like this is just fun for me.
Yeah.
So when I put on my cleats, bro, I don't think I'm just. It's like I read the same one time. It said learn how to play the violin, like learn everything, learn all the just everything about it, and then forget all that and just play.
Yeah. So
that's kind of my like take on it, I guess.
So you just learn from everything, and then once you're there, just do what you know what to do.
Yeah. I know a lot of people like before a game they'll be like thinking, oh, I'm gonna do this, I'm just like, this is, there's no way to like, it's not like in other sports where you could create plays that are already like written down. Like in soccer, anything can happen. So I'm just, I just don't think about it pretty much.
Yeah. So going from that, how was your senior year going into your first year now that you got scouted for college?
Well, my senior year, honestly, it wasn't. To me, it's been the worst year I've ever had in my high school career, my college career, where I'm at now. Let's just say I was focused on being the best athlete I could be. I was just worried. I mean, you're a 17-year-old kid in your senior year, You're worried about other stuff, like, you know. So it wasn't the best, but I mean, I did okay, you know.
Like,
so
are we talking about grade wise or soccer wise? Like grade
soccer
wise.
Grade wise, it was good. I was always a good student. I think I was an even better student in college because I knew I had to get it.
Yeah.
But soccer wise, I was like, I don't know. If it wasn't for that time frame where from January to May where I really got it going, then I wouldn't play college, to be honest. It's like I literally sat down one day and I was like, okay, what do you want to do? Because I almost joined the army. I even took the ASVAB and everything. Yeah, because I didn't know what I wanted to do in my life, and I always knew I wanted to do something good and make a career out of myself, you know. But I don't know. And then one day I just sat down and I literally turned off all the lights in my room, and I just sat there and I was just thinking, I'm like, do you really want to be in the army? And I couldn't do it, man. So that's when I knew, like, now you don't have an option because now this is your dream. So now you got to go all in. And that's when my individual training started, training every single day. And that's why I got scouted, because I would send those videos out as well. Okay. And then they would see me in person when I would go to their little tryouts or combat. And that's what really made the difference. But at first, I wasn't really getting scouted by teams weren't coming and looking for me. I had to do it by myself pretty much.
Do you feel? Yeah. I was actually gonna make a video about this on YouTube, that getting scouted on your club teams, is it more probable to happen, or do you have to do it mostly by your school teams?
Club, for sure, club. Especially if, for example, in El Paso, I know they have a FC Dallas. That's the way to go, because they're directly affiliated with MLS teams. So there's a higher chance you could get seen there. Yeah. And then they have a tournaments. In tournament, that's where there's the most scouts. I don't know, Dallas Cup, things like that. There you can get scouted more, because I know a few players from El Paso actually went that route through FC Dallas, and then a few of them are playing professional. I didn't know them very well personally, but I know some of them that went that route, and now they're playing pro. Yeah. But as far as your high school, I mean, it's a lot harder.
I feel high school coaches don't tend to help the players. They rather just put the name for their team as a coach.
Yeah. Because I mean, to them, it's more about, oh, this guy's only here for 4 years. I need to keep getting players, and they're not thinking for your future, exactly. which in academies they do, because that's their whole purpose is to develop you and get you to go somewhere. Okay, yeah. So I mean, academies would be the way. If you're a kid high school that's 15, 16, try to get into academy. And then do that, and then do high school soccer at the same time. Don't just do high school soccer, because that's your season's what, 3 months?
At the end of the year, just 2-3 months. Really not much. Yeah, games.
Yeah, if you want to get better, you gotta play all year. Yeah. And that's what they do. That's why I like so much about being overseas, because they don't stop. It's just all year.
Every single day and everything. Yeah. All right, so going from your freshman year of college, how'd that
go? I mean, I got there and I was doing real well, but at the time I had, like I said, I was doing a lot of individual training, so it just went. I think I overdid it, because I ended up getting injured, and it wasn't those injuries that they happen in game. It was like a stress injury where you don't rest. So I overworked myself, and I pinched a nerve in my back, and I got to the point where sometimes I couldn't even get out of bed sometimes, and yeah.
Did you have to get it?
And I mean, and me, what?
You had to get a surgery or anything like that?
No, I didn't. No. You know how we are when we're Mexican, bro. We don't go to the hospital ever.
Ever. Just the ice pack and that's it.
Nah, but yeah, bro. Just some ibuprofen and you're good. No, I knew what it was. I knew it wasn't anything like out of my control. I knew it was my fault, and because I would never stretch and I would just work out a lot and I would go hard every single day. I didn't have any days where I would take it slow. And I was just going at it every day because I was just so hungry to make something out of myself, and so it got to a point where I couldn't even walk sometimes, and I would have to take like 9 to 10 ibuprofens before practicing. Because I didn't want to tell the coach, like, hey, I'm hurt. Because I knew as soon as I said that, they would get rid of me, or I'd be on the bench, and yeah. But then it got so bad that the coach ended up telling me, like, hey, you're gonna need to redshirt this year. And then he told me that, and then I don't know what happened along the process. I guess communication, or I don't know, but they ended up taking my whole scholarship away. And I was like at rock bottom. I had to take out loans to pay for it, and because of that, I didn't return to that same school because I felt, I felt kind of like betrayed, I guess.
Yeah, not wanted in there.
Because because I even signed, and it even came out on the news. Like, there was camera people there, like our signing day. I still remember it was me, and then do you remember Kirby? He played baseball.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, him. It was me, him, some other girl. Okay. Like, it was our signing day, and it was us three. And everything was like written down in paper that I had a scholarship, and then they still didn't give it to me. And I mean, it's just one of those things where, like, I guess it would fall along those lines of like issues with like NCAA and things like that, how they don't treat their players like how they should,
They actually changed fun fact, I was reading an article the other day of how they changed the age liability for players, because there was young players playing too young, and then for the older players, I feel only Division III and NAIA are the only ones that allow over the age of 38-year-old. Like, the oldest athlete was a 40-year-old. He was a football player.
Really?
Yeah. This is
in college?
College, yeah. Division III and NAIA.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So they're changing the rules based upon that, that there has to be an age limit between when they can get signed and when they have to like lay off from the teams.
Yeah.
So that's great though. But
and then that's another thing too though. My freshman year, I was one of the youngest on the team, and a lot of us were first year like college players, but a lot of them like would graduate high school and they would wait a few years and then go to college. So there was dudes on the team that were like 25, 26, and then we were all from different countries. Like, there was so much diversity in that team. That it was just like, honestly, it's probably one of the best teams I've ever been on as far as raw talent. But I mean, I was hurt, so I couldn't do anything.
You don't mind saying the school this was? Or
this was it was a junior college. It was Garden City.
Like around Dallas?
In Kansas.
Okay, well, dang, Kansas.
No, in Kansas. Yeah. Yeah. Hold on, you're lagging a little bit. Hold on.
So that was your freshman year of college. So what happened after that? They took away the scholarship. What happened after?
Yeah. So after that, I stayed. I had to stay until the spring so I could finish the year at least. And then in the spring, I was already healthy in the spring because I really worked on my injury, and by myself mostly. And so I would just stretch a lot and then do like exercises and stuff. And I ended up getting rid of the injury. And during spring, you're only allowed 2 to 3 games because you're not in season. So then my very first game, I came in and I had a hat trick in like 20 minutes. Just right off the bat, 3 goals. And I mean, it was going good. Like, I felt confident again. But then the semester ended, and I knew I couldn't take out any more loans because of that they took my scholarship away. So I had to stay in El Paso that year from 2016 Yeah, the remainder of 2016, I had to stay in El Paso because I didn't have I knew other teams wouldn't be scouting me because I didn't have any film from the year prior.
Yeah.
So then that's when I started looking into other ways, and that's when I found out about the PDL, UPSL. I found out about all those teams.
Okay.
So in 2017, that's when I went to Dallas and I started playing there.
Okay.
And then and this was for a PDL team. And the difference between PDL and UPSL, it's pretty much the same level. As far as my experience, it's the same level. But PDL is more college players, so there's a lot of youth, and there's a lot of it's a lot more running, pretty much.
Yeah, I've heard.
And then in the UPSL, it's like players that are like about to retire and stuff, so it's a lot slower. It's more men's league, I guess you could say.
Going from so you came back to El Paso, and you played at Dallas for how long?
I was on that team only for 2 months, but I stayed in Dallas like 5-6 months. And the reason why so to me, I think the reason I didn't get a lot of playing time was because I wasn't part of any school.
Oh, okay.
All the other players, they had been there from, let's say take the best player from each school, and then you send them to that team.
Oh, okay.
So all these dudes were college players. And I wasn't a college player because I didn't have a team at the time.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. It was just one of those things where, like, if the coach doesn't like you, there's nothing you can do, you know? That will happen. Yeah. Not every coach is going to love you. Some will do everything they can to not play you. Some will let you do anything, and you can still play. But, I mean, I didn't take it personal. I knew it was part of the business, you know?
Yeah.
So... yeah, so the rest of those 3 months when I was in Dallas, I was just playing in like just Sunday league and just trying to find any way to play really. And then after that, I finally decided, I was like, you know what, this is what?
Would you just go to like a park and see a Sunday league team like, hey, can I play?
Yeah, I would. And then I did that at first, and then I ended up I found a little like sports complex, and it was like they had an indoor field, and then they had a gym right next to it. Okay. So I was like, oh, this is perfect. And I signed up for the gym there so I can be working out, and then in the meantime I can see the teams, and then go up to random people and be like, hey, I play. Do you need a player? Okay. And when I was working out there, I actually met what's his name? I don't know, but I don't know his name, but I know his son's name. His son plays in the NFL. I don't know if you know him, Jamal Adams.
Oh, yeah.
He was playing for the Jets. He's like a safety.
Yeah.
Yeah. I met his dad there at that gym. He was a trainer there.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, and I started speaking to him, and he was like, hey, like, I just asked him for like tips and stuff, and like if I could work out with him. And yeah, I started working out with him a few times a week, and I was getting strong. And then I was like, I don't want to get big. Like I felt like I was training to be a football player.
Yeah.
So then he introduced me to another coach that was a track coach.
Okay.
And with him, that's when I got my speed like all the way up, because he taught me the proper like mechanics on how to run and all that stuff. And so I mean, at least I took that from being in Dallas.
Yeah. So you took something away.
So then I get back to El Paso the rest of 2017, and then it's back to playing Sunday league.
Yeah. Okay.
And
when you were here in El Paso, did you keep playing with the UPSL team?
No, at that time that team wasn't even, the first season for the UPSL was in 2018.
So it really has 2 years on?
The very first time they... Yeah, barely.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So so the rest of 2017 I was just playing Sunday league, and then I think in December of that year I started looking at like playing college again.
Okay.
And my dad actually told me about this coach that he knew that was looking for college players. So then I linked up with him, and he found me a school actually. So in January of 2018, I went back to college. I found a way to get another scholarship. So then I ended up in Nevada, like northern Nevada.
Yeah.
But I showed up in the spring, like during spring soccer. So the first month and a half, like I barely played because we didn't have any facilities. We didn't have anything. I would have to walk like 20 minutes just to go to the gym because there wasn't any on campus. So again, I'm back to being like, damn, like when am I gonna catch a break, you know?
Yeah.
And then that's when like spring ball came around, and again you could only play a few games of spring. And my very first game, I scored 4 goals because I was just so like, I was like, I need to prove something, you know?
Yeah. You're hungry to be out
and
there.
I just want to play. And then while I was there, that's when I started hearing about FC Grande in the UPSL. That's when they were coming together, and they actually started season while I was still in college.
Okay.
So then I finished my semester in May, and I went back to El Paso. And as soon as I got there, like within a week, I was already with FC Grande because I spoke to one of the players.
Yeah.
And the player didn't tell the coach, he didn't tell the president, he didn't tell anyone. He just told me to show up. Okay. And I thought he had told them like, yeah, yo, I have a player coming. Yeah. But no, I just showed up, and the president looks at me. He's like, who are you? Yeah. Like, so he was just like, oh, we'll train.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was just like, well, they invited me, and he told me just to start training and stuff, and then like we would see. And within 3 days, they put me on the roster, and then like within a week and a half, I think. No, like 2 weeks or something, I had my first game and I was starting. Damn. So I finished the season with them. Yeah. And I actually scored the game winner in the semifinal. So that I was like, finally I found a team, you know? Yeah. Yeah, so what year is that? That's 2018? Yeah. So then season ended, and there was no fall season because I mean it's pretty expensive to have a team because you gotta pay the league and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Even like registering and all that, like they took care of all that for me.
Okay.
And then so then 2018 around the fall, I was back to just playing Sunday League, just trying to find ways to find the other teams pretty much. And I think around that time is when I started looking into like getting agents and stuff and doing all that. Okay. So then 2019 came around, and that's when Locomotive was gonna have their first season. Okay. And I was all hype. I was like, I'm gonna try out. Like I think I have a good chance. And I show up to tryouts, and literally first 6 minutes of the game, I sprained my ankle. Yeah. Like I tried to take some guy on, and I faked him left or something. I don't know. And he stepped on me, and my ankle was just done.
And that's like the whole days, huh? Whole 2 days.
So yeah, that was that. Yeah. Yeah. So that was that for Locomotive. and then well, FC Grande. I was still with FC Grande at the time. Okay. So then I was like, I'm just gonna stay here and just finish season with them. And while I was doing my season, I was getting highlights in every single game because I was scoring every game.
That's so cool.
So I think that was really my breakout season, I think, because that's what got me. That's what got me here, at least where I'm at now. Like I know I'm not like on TV and on FIFA and stuff, but it
got you.
It's a start, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then that's when I started getting on my film and stuff, and then I ended up finding an agent through like a mutual friend. I was like, hey, how'd you get there? And he told me about his agent. So then I started talking to him, and he told me, he's like, I will get you to Spain, but I need to see that you're a good player and a good person. Okay. Because I just can't put my name out like just for anybody, you know.
That's true.
So then, yes. So then, so I was getting all these highlights in during the season, and then I actually got hurt like midway through the season again. And then I came back and I started. I was just I think I came back for the last few games, and we actually played the. I don't know if it was the final. I don't know if it was the final or the semifinal of the playoffs. But we actually played against Southwest. And it was in El Paso. And I don't know. I started out really well that game. I started doing good, and then I don't know if I got tired. Or I just. I have no idea. But I didn't do anything that game. I wasn't making any runs. I wasn't doing nothing. Yeah, it just wasn't my day. So they ended up beating us, and that was the end of that season. So now for me it was like, all right, what am I gonna do now? I had a month and a half figuring out if I'm gonna stay on Paso again and just wait all this time, or if I'm gonna keep moving and keep playing. So I got in contact with my agent, and he's actually based out of San Antonio. So he's like, for me to get you to Spain, you have to come train with me. I can't just send you. I gotta meet you. I gotta, you know. That's when I decided to. So. I was like, you know what, I'm just going to move to San Antonio for the rest of the year. So I did that. I left in the... I left in the... Actually, I went in August for the first time to San Antonio. I was there, and that's when I was there, and I was actually on vacation with my girlfriend. And that's when my agent randomly calls me. He's like, hey, come to this bar. Like, the coach from Spain is here. He wants to meet you. And I was like, what? Like it was like meant to be, random, you know? Like it was like meant to be, I guess. I show up and so I show up, and then he's there with the agent, and we just start talking and stuff, and he was telling me, he's like, yeah, like we like you, come in preseason. Literally like that month. But he meant like literally like that month. And I was like, no, I can't. Exactly. First of all, I didn't have any money, because I was moving so much, and then I had some family issues, so I couldn't just leave my family. I told him, and I had to tell him no. Like I felt. It didn't feel right, but I had to tell him no, but like that I was still interested. He just gave me his number and stuff. And he just told me, he just gave me his number and stuff. He's like, let's just stay in touch and then see what happens. I was already living in San Antonio, and I was like, might as well find a team now. And that's when I found out about the San Antonio Runners. A friend of mine told me about them, and they were actually like back-to-back champions. So I was like, oh, I want to be on that team. So then I showed up to tryouts like a week after that. It was so humid, bro. Like, I only tried out for like an hour or maybe 2 hours, because I was dying. And then I started cramping up and stuff, and that's when the coach was like, hey, I saw enough, like I think you would be good on the team. So then they signed me, and then I stayed with the Runners. And then I stayed with the Runners throughout that season. And it wasn't as good as my my first season that year. But because I had to focus on, like my mind was in other things. Because I had to focus on like family, like my relationships, like financial stuff. Like it was just a lot. So it wasn't like how earlier that year I could just play and not worry about anything. Yeah, so it made a difference in my game, but it made a difference in my game, but still, like I was still doing pretty well. I had a few goals that season, but I didn't have much. And then we didn't even go to playoffs. And then we didn't even go to playoffs with that team, because there was a lot of, it just wasn't I don't know, year, it just wasn't our year, I guess. So then the season ended like December. Yeah. And then December, and then I went back to El Paso for 2 to 3 weeks, and that's when I did everything. I got my passport. I did all that stuff like quick, and then I spoke to the coach, and he was telling me like, hey, like they were about to start up again. Because here you play a certain amount of games, and then you go on break, like you go on holiday, and then you start up again. So like to finish off the season.
Come now, come.
So he told me, he's like, if you can come now, come.
I packed all my stuff.
So
I showed up.
I packed all my stuff and I showed up.
Actually got here.
And actually got here
because I stayed a little longer
in February because I stayed a little longer in El Paso in January because my dad was like, I want you to be in like the best shape you can.
Just impress.
You know, so you can show up and just impress.
So
yeah.
So I got here and.
So I got here and.
We only like a month before.
I was only able to practice for like a month before this quarantine stuff happened.
I mean, but during that time, my
transfer came in,
saw enough of me to
and the coach saw enough of me to tell me like, hey, like we want you on this team.
So now I'm currently just waiting on.
I'm currently just waiting on to see if we're gonna move up a league.
Yeah.
Because if we do, I'm obviously gonna come back.
Who doesn't want to keep moving up?
Because I mean, who doesn't want to keep moving up? You know. But if not, then
right now
I don't know. I don't know what I'm. Right now, it's pretty much in the air because there's right now like the world is just stopped right now. So I don't know.
Same thing. I was hearing a podcast the other day about USL players worrying about if the teams will end their contracts early since their season didn't even start. So they don't know if they're going to be jobless by the end of this
month. That's what I'm worried about right now.
Yeah.
That's what I'm worried about right now.
Like,
honestly, I'm like, I'm trying to get my money. But
that's true.
You know?
Are you doing, besides, like, for example, right now, are you doing any side hustles to keep getting money? Since, actually, that's one of the questions I got, actually. What side hustles can you do to make extra money to keep living a soccer player's lifestyle?
Side hustles?
Well, side hustles? I never really had side hustles. I literally had to have full-time jobs just to like pay for stuff. And then my family, of course, my family has helped me so much. Like
that's one thing that
that's one thing that I try to tell people because a lot of people message me sometimes and they're like, I guess just for advice.
And I just tell them like.
I don't know. I just tell them like you need a strong support system. Like anybody that says that they can do things on their own, they're lying. They can't. You're always gonna need help from someone.
And luckily in my case, I
had my oldest brother was a professional fighter, so I come from a family of athletes. And my dad
loves it. So
my dad just loves it. So he told me, he's like, if you're playing college ball or you're playing wherever you're playing, whatever league you're playing in, I'll help you.
Like I'm gonna give you money every week.
But that doesn't mean like I'm gonna give you money every week to like I'll just cover your expenses and stuff.
Yes.
So
thanks to my family, like I literally.
So thanks to my family, like I literally, if it wasn't for them,
quit soccer a long time ago.
I would have quit soccer a long time ago, honestly.
Do you feel they were your push?
But
support system.
So a support system.
Do you feel that they were your push of that boundary to decide whether to go to the army or play professional soccer?
Push as far
as motivating me, yes. Because
if it wasn't for the
things my family went through and all that, I don't think I would have.
I feel like I would have been just another
just average kid, not caring about anything. Like of course I would have still been in school and like working and stuff, you know. But because of what happened with my family, that's what really pushed me to be like, you know what, I'm gonna make my dream come true, and nothing's gonna stop me.
Like I just turned 23 like a few weeks ago. And I'm not there yet. But I'm still so young that it's possible, you know. I'm only like 2 leagues away from being like on TV and being.
Well, you are a professional. I mean,
so who knows?
Yeah. The way I see it, the word
who knows?
mostly stands out for me. That if you're getting paid to do what you love, you're already professional.
Yeah.
That's what I consider myself.
Yeah.
Like, if you consider yourself getting paid to do what you love to do, there's nothing else to worry about, and you just make it grow. You know, actually, right now that you were telling me that you don't want to be an average kid, right? Like the way that we see some of our classmates, right? Our high school coach, there's one thing that if I can remember about him is that he always said having a that good life. Remember when he used to say that? That you have to strive for that good life, having a good house, a good car, and a good career. For some reason, for me personally, it always felt like he was settling for less. Like he was scared of going over his boundary. Like, I'll be real with you, I never really liked our high school coach. I thought he was very close-minded, like super close-minded. And so when every time he would talk about that good life, it's like, no, man, you have to look at the boundaries way above the good life. Because good life is what the average person has. And
I feel that. I think.
I feel that.
I think that comes from.
I think that comes from.
How do I say it? I guess our culture.
How do I say it? I guess our culture.
Like we're very.
Like our Mexican culture. Like we're very reserved people. Like very traditional. Where they tell you. Meet a girl, have a family. That's it. Like there's really no.
Nobody tells you like, hey, you can do whatever you want.
Like nobody tells you like, hey, you can do whatever you want. You know.
It's rare.
Like that's kind of. It's rare for someone to be like that. And again, like I say, luckily in my family, my dad always told me, like hey, you're special. Like from a young age, he always told us we could do whatever we wanted.
He's always bragging about
and like to this day, he's always bragging about us.
So I get what you're saying.
I get what you're saying. Like it's like you gotta.
How do I say it? Like just take what they give you, I guess.
How do I say it? Like just take what they give you, I guess. But now, like.
I don't like that. I'm gonna take everything I want.
I don't like that. I'm gonna take everything I want and more. You know.
For us athletes, right? You have to go through. The boundary here in the U.S. is go to school, go to college, and then actually work, right? They don't see that college. I mean, Division III players are making it to pro level now, right? So that kind of gives you an aspect. Yeah. At the USL level, there's players that have stated that, hey, I'm from a Division III school, NAIA school, and it just depends on the work you put in. Like, for example, I wouldn't doubt that in the few years to come, even players that never played at the higher leagues are going to be able to be making those teams. You know what I mean? Like, we're going to be on that same situation that Brazil, Argentina, Spain, England have that. Even players that have never played at those high academy teams or college teams are going to be able to be in the England, PDA and the Premier League and all that.
And that's the way it should be.
And that's the way it should be because,
where you come from.
Like it shouldn't matter where you come from. Like as long as you're good. Like if you look at most of these basketball players or NFL players, a lot of them come from nothing. Like they literally changed their whole family's
just because
life.
They stuck to it and
because they stuck to it and because they decided like, oh, I have a talent and I'm gonna go get it, you know? So with soccer it should be the same way. You shouldn't have to go to the best D1 school and then go to the combine. Like I know that's the way they do it in the NBA and the NFL, but then with them at least they build you up from the time you're little. Development teams, that's big. And with soccer, we don't have that for some reason.
Potential is there, but the thing that matters in the U.S. is always the money portion. Unfortunately. All right. So right now you're in quarantine, right? So.
Yeah, man, it's tough.
There's not much that we can do in terms of training. But what is a day in the life of a training right now in quarantine?
In quarantine. Well, honestly, right now, my sleep schedule is completely messed up.
Like right now, what time is it? It's about to be 1 a.m. here, and I woke up like 3 hours ago.
You're like in the U.S. time right now.
So as far
because all my friends
because all my friends are in the U.S. So I just stay up. So like if I was there already, but
I try to do something every
I don't know. I try to do something every day at least because if I don't, I won't sleep. Because I was so used to being so active. Like I was training 2 to 3 times a day almost. During season. So I was like really like in probably the best shape I've been in my life, like here.
As far as right now,
but as far as right now, I'm just doing
I just try to do the basics pretty much, just push-ups, sit-ups, squats, planks. So I'll do those 4 exercises, and then every day, like, I always try to shoot for 500 of each. So that's what I'm kind of, that's kind of where I'm at right now. But I actually got a tattoo like 3 days ago from one of my friends right here on my chest. So I can't do push-ups right now. So I just been doing sit-ups and like planks and stuff. So yesterday I did 1,000 sit-ups and 10 minutes worth of planks. That was enough for me to be like, all right, I'm like, that was enough for me to be like, all right, I'm
You
done.
don't have a pull-up bar at your house or anything?
I don't have anything. No, I don't have anything. No, yeah, man. I was talking about that. Yeah, I was talking about. But I don't count that as training. Yeah. So, but I don't count that as training because to me, training is like what I don't want to do. Yeah. So like playing soccer and being at practice, like playing soccer and being at practice, like I love all that stuff. But like lifting weights and stuff, I'm just like, because I used to love it so much, like in high school and stuff. Like I've always been known for like being at the gym and stuff.
Yeah. Like bro, you have to stop lifting weights because you're gonna get too big and slow. Yeah, I remember.
And now I'm just so over lifting weights. I'm just like, oh, bro, I don't care. I don't know. I guess. Like I don't know, my mind changed on what I want for, because I would only lift weights because I wanted to look good. Now I'm focused on like functionality and my performance and stuff. So now I don't care for really lifting weights. Like I'll lift weights, but I'll do what I need to do and that's it. You know?
So,
but yeah.
During season, what was a normal day for Gilbert Garcia?
During season,
let's see.
Since the first month.
Since the first month
I couldn't play because
that I got here to Spain, I couldn't play because I was waiting on my transfer and stuff. Because the way it works, you gotta contact the U.S. Federation, and they need to release you.
So then the Spanish Federation,
and the Spanish Federation, they'll pick you up pretty much. And it's a process, so it takes a while. So the whole first month I was here, I didn't have my transfer. So all I could do was practice, and I couldn't play any games.
Yeah, so I was just training.
So I was just training like all the time. So let's say.
And then here we practice. Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I would have individual.
And then Tuesdays and Thursdays I would have individual trainings, whether it be with my goalie or like.
Or sometimes
someone on the team, or sometimes I would even invite like younger kids that play in the academy, because here we have
from 4 years old all the way up
literally like from 4 years old all the way up to the first team.
Yeah.
All right.
So, boys and girls. Yeah.
And it's so much teams that we have.
It's so much teams that we have. We have 3 different fields where we practice at. Like we have our stadium, and then we have 2 other like practice fields.
So let's say like a Monday.
Yeah, so let's say like a Monday,
I would wake up around,
10
a.m.
Maybe 10 a.m.
Everything is just more.
Because like for some reason everything is just more.
It's like more laid back here in Europe. I think.
It's like more laid back here
in
in Europe, I think.
Like go.
Like in the U.S., everything's like go. Like at 6 a.m. you're already at work type stuff, you know? Like here, not here, they take their time, and then we even have, they call it la siesta.
1 to 4.
Like from 1 to 4, like you have a break from work, and people like go to sleep and stuff.
Yeah, if you try to go to a business.
So like if you try to go to a business and stuff, or like if you try to go to a restaurant, it'll be closed because they're like everyone respects that. Yeah, and then at 5 everything opens back up.
Yeah.
So that's one of the things. That's one of the things that gave me culture shock to begin with. But I mean, I'm used to it now. And so I wake up around.
It's gonna be completely different. Yeah. I need my sleep.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to get used to it again.
But, I'm gonna have to get used to it again.
So then,
so then I wake up around 10, and then I usually head straight to the gym when I wake up. Cause I don't like to eat before, because I like to take a pre-workout and stuff.
I'll do my workout.
So then I'll go and I'll do my workout, which are like
1 to 2 hours,
maybe 1 to 2 hours, maybe depending on how I feel. But Mondays are usually pretty heavy for me because I had the weekend to recover and stuff.
I get out of there, and then I come home, and then I come home, and then I have a big meal after the gym. Recover. Just so I can kind of recover. And then around 2 to 3 p.m. I head to the field. I start training individually. And I start training individually because I don't know what it is. It gets my confidence like really, really high when I train by myself. So I'll just go and I'll shoot, or I'll do dribbling, or sometimes if someone else is there, we'll do like passing and all the basic stuff. And then at 5:30, that's when I start training. I have a youth team that they gave me. They called me up and they're like, hey, do you want to coach a team, because they had issues with their coach, so they let them go. And they called me, and I was like, yeah, I'll do it. So then that team shows up, and they're all 13 or 14 years old, so they're at a good age. Yeah. They're a little bit wild, but like they see that you're a player yourself. So I feel like that motivates them a little bit.
You're there at that level, and it kind of like he's there. Then I should be listening to what he says.
Yeah, man, because at least for me, if I see if I have a coach that, like, if I have to wonder, like, did you ever play? Then I probably won't want to listen to you, But if it's a coach that, like, okay, he played here, like, okay, you have something to say. So from 5:30 to like 7:30, we train. I train them, and I'll just go on YouTube and stuff, and I'll just make up drills. Pretty much.
To get drills.
I'm just gonna play it. Yeah. I'm just gonna play it on the phone and be like, all right, do this. From 7:30 to about 8:30, I have a little gap. So I always have food with me. Like I take it from the house. Like I'll take a salad with me or something, so I can eat before practice. Because at that time I'm already like 6 hours. I'm tired because I've been out all day. And then at 9 my practice starts with the first team, and we practice from 9 to like 11:30 sometimes, like 2.5 hours. Yeah. Because we show up. We have to show up at 8:30. So we can change, and like, because we have a locker room, we have to change, and then we just wait. And I mean, you're just talking to like your teammates and stuff, and then the coach comes in, and we always have like a meeting and stuff. Like he'll tell us like if anyone's injured, or just basic stuff. And then at 11:30, we finish, and then just get in the shower and just go home, and then wake up and do it all over again. Almost like literally every day. Yeah. So it's like I haven't even had time to go to the beach and stuff. The whole time I've been here, I only went out one time. Like the whole time I've been here, I only went out one time. Like at night and stuff, I only went out once because I'm so like. I don't know. I feel like I just. I'm playing in Spain and stuff. Like I know, like yes, I'm playing in Spain and stuff, and it's already getting like serious for me, but. Like, bro, I have so much to prove. Not to anybody, but like to myself. Not to anybody, but like to myself and to my family, so they can be like, okay, you really did that. Because even now, my mom and my like, they're always bragging about me and stuff. Like they tell me like that. They're like, oh, so and so asked about you. They're like, how you doing? That's cool. So like, I'm like, oh, that's cool. Yeah.
At least people still have you in mind, right? It could always be that like I haven't heard of some few players from our high school that I don't know, they were good talented players, but they turned out to do something else, or didn't end up doing what they said to do. So I was like, well, I guess. What was the most difficult part of your career so far? That's a good ass question. Sorry,
that's a good ass question. Sorry, I don't mean to. Let's see. Hardest. Like as far as like. What do you mean though by hardest? Like as far as like on the field or personal life? Or
let's go on with the field in the field first, and then we'll go into in the personal.
In the field.
Okay. In the field. I think
overall the hardest thing has been.
Just adapting to being on so many teams. Because over the course of since high school, I've been on so many teams. I've met so many players that
right away you have chemistry.
Like with some players, right away you have chemistry, and then with others you have to
relationship first.
You have to build a relationship first, because they like, or you have to earn the respect, or especially when you come in and like right away they start playing you. Like some players don't like that. They feel like yo, who are you?
Yeah. So that and then.
What the coach wants, and then adapting to what the coach wants of you.
To get to a higher level, you have to play.
To get to a higher level, you have to play anywhere they ask of you. You can't be like, no, I only play here.
That's the worst thing you can do.
That's the worst thing you can do in trying to be good. Like even if the coach tells you that, hey, I need you to play goalie.
Yeah.
Like, all right, let's get it. You know.
That really happens, right?
But like. No.
Yeah, so like I've always played a center
I've always played a center forward. I've always been a striker, like always. And then I got to FC Grande, and they started playing me as a center mid.
What is this?
And I was like, what is this? You know? Because it's so like I felt lost sometimes. So to train for that, I would go on Sunday leagues and I would tell them, hey, I'm a center mid, because like the level is a little bit. It's a little bit slower, you know.
And then I got to
the runners, and they're like, hey, I need you to play winger.
In high school.
And I played winger in high school for like a few games. So I was like, all right. And then
I get here.
Yeah, and then I get here, and they're like, hey, I need you as defensive mid, or I need you as a false nine, or I need you as a winger, but don't go up as much. Like it's just adapting, bro, because like you never know where you're gonna play the best. Because realistically, like me, my height and weight and my speed, I should be a winger. Because I'm not the biggest dude. Like I'm only like 5'9".
And to be like, if you want to be a center forward,
and to be like, if you want to be a center forward, you have to be pretty big. Like, look at Cavani, Lewandowski, like players like that.
But I mean,
I'm strong, but I think I'm.
Yeah, and I'm strong, but I think I'm faster than I am strong.
I think the best.
So like I think the best thing for me right now would be a winger, because I love going one on one with people.
And
I love
the
that.
level of play, how would you differ it from El Paso to Spain?
To Spain. Can I do like the U.S. to Spain?
Can I do like the U.S. to Spain? Because I feel like that's more of a
Let's see.
Yeah, let's see.
So the league that I'm in.
So the league that I'm in right now.
You can compare it to like.
Like the USL, honestly. I think that's how big of a gap that is.
I'm only in like the fourth.
And keep in mind, I'm only in like the fourth tier of Spanish soccer. I'm not even in the top two.
UPSL.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
The level of play is so high.
But like the level of play is so high that players here can go to the USL and play.
That's why I felt like it was a good move.
You know?
That's why I felt like it was a good move,
because I was trying to get into a USL team so bad. I feel like I can play in the USL like already. But like I said, I got hurt. And I didn't have any. And I didn't have any. I didn't have an agent. I didn't have anything. So I was like, I'll go play in Spain.
So I can come back. And now you're gonna be known as he went to Spain, coming back.
Yeah. It gives you more. It gives you more.
Yeah. It gives you more. It gives you more of a prestige, I guess. As far as the level, like Spain is just way ahead.
Just look at the MLS.
I mean, just look at the MLS and then look at La Liga. Like I know they have a lot of international players.
Big difference.
If you compare Spanish players to American players,
I can only name a few American players that actually.
I can only name a few American players that actually did something, like Donovan, like
and then what's that
Bradley.
young dude?
And then what's that young dude?
Yeah, him. He's good, man.
Yeah, him. He's good, man. And then players that have come from Spain.
I don't know.
You got, I don't know, David Villa, Fernando Torres. You have everybody, bro. Yeah, so.
And they all come from that same system.
But then again, that comes from.
Exactly.
the development.
Like the U.S. should be
because
the best.
like the U.S. should be the best in everything.
Exactly.
Because we have all the resources.
We literally have the best.
We have
fields.
we literally have the best fields. We have the best equipment. Everything.
Yeah.
And
that's true. I feel a lot of it has to do with again going back to the money aspect of the clubs and they're willing to spend it on the youth.
Yeah.
But I mean, they won't learn until they put the effort in, you know.
Yeah.
So it's like, that's the hard part.
Yeah.
You ready to do the
For
Q&As that I got?
Yeah. Let's get it.
All right. So
let's get it.
First one. Well, you kind of answered it already in the talk, but what was your mental preparation?
Wait, say that again?
What's your mental preparation? Like before a game? What do you think before a game?
Okay.
Yeah.
I was like,
okay.
I was like, just in general.
I was like, just in general or what? Nah. Before a game?
I gotta have my music.
I gotta have my music before a game.
Like, that's my.
I got to, bro.
That's my number one thing. Like, if I don't have music.
That's my number one thing. Like, if I don't have music, I'll be like, I won't feel motivated. Like, I'm just.
I don't know. Because I guess the lyrics and stuff.
I don't know. Because I guess the lyrics and stuff, like, they're so.
I don't know exactly how to put it.
I don't know exactly how to put it, but right now I listen to like Lil Baby. Right now is my best best rapper, and then obviously Drake. I got the OVO sweater on. Yeah, and then honestly anything that'll get me going, bro. Cause like the beats that I hear, like if it's upbeat, I'll be like, all right, let's get it. And then I'll think about my family. I'll think about my family.
I always look at my tattoos.
I always look at my tattoos because my tattoos they're very meaningful to me, and I got them for that reason, you know, like they tell a story and stuff.
And I don't know, I kind of
think of all that, and then like I said, right before I play, I just forget everything and then just focus.
That's a good question though.
Yeah. That's a good question.
Do you change your drills, like for example, on your training session? Sometimes they don't even tell me what, but I kind of understand the question. But all right, here it goes. Yeah, my bad. It's because they just put the question, but sometimes it's like there's so many ways of asking the question, but like I just have to eyeball it in.
Yeah.
So, in your training sessions, individual training sessions, do you change your drills every day, or do them like 10 days straight and then switch them?
I do it.
So
I do it weekly.
Like
so let's say,
drills, I don't really
like as far as specific drills, I don't really change that much. But I do change on what I'm trying to work on. For example, one day I want to work on. One week I want to work on shooting. Another week I want to work on my passing. So I just kind of keep it. I keep it at a weekly basis, and then I'll throw in what I need. Like I feel like I need. Like right now, I'm working a lot on my weak foot on my left. It makes you that much. Because it makes you that much deadlier. Because I started in college, they would tell me, like, oh, he's going right. Like they knew. And one game I did go right, and then I cut back to the left, and I just completely like smoked the defender. So yeah, so I'm like, if you use both feet, I mean, you'll be a beast.
Okay.
Yeah.
Since you have a big experience on injuries, so this is actually pretty good for you. Drills and workouts for injury recovery.
Let's see, workouts.
And when I saw the workout portion of the question, I was like, well, maybe he'll understand. I didn't understand the question of the workout portion of an injury.
Yeah. I mean, you could do injury prevention.
Yeah. I mean, you can do injury prevention.
I guess it falls along the same lines.
I guess it does. It falls along the same lines as coming back from an injury. For example,
it's hard for me to know.
I don't know. Like it's hard for me to know because I don't know the names of these drills. But I know how they. For example, where you like
doing box jumps or something, like a low.
Like doing box jumps or something, like a low box jump, but landing like softly.
Decelerate your body.
That's to decelerate your body and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? But
as far as actual workouts,
as far as actual workouts, like
I think the therapy part of it is more important.
I think the therapy part of it is more important. like using ice
like me when I would get hurt.
Like me when I would get hurt, I always went to a therapist. I never
just to know
what exactly I have, and then from there I can treat it myself. And a lot of times just using ice or just recovery and like things like that, or like say like you sprain your ankle or something, you can use like resistance bands and stuff just to strengthen it again. But
Let's going on to how do you measure the times in your training sessions? Like, how do you know an hour long, an hour and a half long, 2 hours?
I don't actually.
I don't actually. I don't think time really matters, to be honest. I think it's more of
with the time that you have.
What you do with the time that you have. Because there'd be times like,
especially with my brother,
especially with my brother, like there would be times that he would tell me, hey, let's go to the gym. And my brother would go in and quick, like no rest, do everything. And in 30 minutes, I'd be dead. So it's like, I think it's what you do with that time that really matters, you know. But I just like to listen to my body, because that's the biggest thing. Always be in tune with your body, because it's your machine. Like you gotta keep it, like whether it's like you gotta recover, you gotta eat good, like things like that. But yeah, just listen to your body.
Have you ever had calf cramping?
Oh, all the time, bro.
All the time, bro.
Even when I'm
all the time.
Really?
Even when I'm sleeping sometimes.
Like I'm waking up from sleeping.
Yeah, like I'm waking up from sleeping with the
cramp. You have to like cry it out and just stretch out your.
It's bad.
Calf?
I do this like.
I do this like I go like this and I just like try to like stretch it out. But now I'll eat like bananas or like pickle juice.
So I think one of my academy players asked this question, because he always has this question for other players. What should I do to score more goals?
It's a good one.
It's a good one.
No, that's a good question.
I don't know. That's a good question.
I mean, I could say like just train more, but
not. That's common sense, you know. But
I think for me, I'm using myself as an example.
I'm using myself as an example, because that's the only way I know how to
answer these questions. But
answer these questions. But for me, like
just having that mentality of like a killer.
Just having that mentality of like a killer, you know, like because I remember
I started reading a lot of these books
in college. I started reading a lot of these books, like on
how to become
like self-help books on how to become
mentally stronger, I guess.
Just mentally stronger, I guess.
I took that same mentality
and I apply it to my sport. So like, for example, anytime I get the ball, I think, I'm going to score. You know, like I always,
not every single play there you get the
like
ball,
obviously not every single play there you get the ball, you turn and go, you know, like you have to read the field. But just anytime you get the ball and you have a chance to shoot, just know you're going to score. Like don't question it, don't none of that. Because I know a lot of players do that. They have a one-on-one situation and they start panicking. They're like, oh, what do I do?
Don't even
hesitate. Just shoot.
Don't think about it.
Just shoot it. Yeah, just shoot it. Don't think about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, so then we go on to the next one. How much time do you spend training alone?
Let's see.
About a week or a day?
A week or a day?
Didn't specify it, so we'll go around a day.
Okay, around a day.
Okay, around a day.
It goes back to the same question.
Yeah. I guess. I don't know, maybe like.
I guess. I don't know, maybe like
at the most,
4 to 5 hours.
But that's like on a
at the most. But that's like on a like a crazy day, like where I'm just like
on a light day,
have all the energy. On a light day, like 2 hours at the most.
Because I take in, like I'll do.
Because I take in, like I'll do
a lot of stretching.
Twice a week, I do a lot of stretching. Like I'll dedicate a day to just stretching. Because that's so important to being a good athlete. Yeah.
Well, there's actually well, I think when is training too much?
Too much. Too much.
Like I said, just listening to your body.
Like I said, just listening to your body. Like
you're about to tear
if you
something.
feel like
stop.
you're about to tear something, just stop.
I don't know. That's a good question.
I don't know. That's a good question.
Like a lot of players,
because like a lot of players, like you have players that.
LeBron James, for example.
I'm gonna use LeBron James for example.
He spends like over $1 million.
He spends like over $1 million a year on his recovery.
To always be.
Because he just to always be like effective, you know. So for him, it's more like
he knows his body that well that he.
Like he knows his body that well that he like he knows when it's enough, you know.
Like Kobe Bryant.
But then you have players like Kobe Bryant, rest in peace, that go all out no matter what. But then you see how many injuries he had throughout his career. So it's really a matter of you getting to know your body. I mean, if he's a young kid, whoever asked that, he's gonna know like
either he's gonna learn through
injuries, or he just has to learn how his body feels. Because that's why I know myself so well, because of all the injuries I've had. And thank God they've never been like crazy injuries. It's always been self-inflicted injuries.
Like a week or
so
3-4 days.
Yeah.
The next question comes from, let's be a 12-year-old, because it's muscle training for 12-year-olds. Fun fact, I was actually going to make a video for young kids at workouts, but how would you respond to that?
Don't do anything with weights.
No. Don't do anything with weights. No, none of that. Because you're still growing. Like, you don't stop growing until when? Till like you're like 18, no, or something like that.
The muscles
20?
are developed to weight lift at the age of 15.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So
okay.
None of that.
Okay.
Then
so no.
Then you're
None
be
of
all
that.
short.
Then you're gonna be all short. You're gonna be buff and short.
Yeah, that's
true.
true.
No one likes that.
Do things like
Nah, but just do things like push-ups and stuff, or like if you do anything with weights. Because I did this when I was younger. My dad would sit me down on a bench, and then I would just curl.
Yeah.
Do like dumbbell curls, but like with super lightweight.
Nothing that would strain your back.
Like nothing that would strain your back.
Like, what's that kid bodybuilder? Tristan Lee. Have you seen his? Yeah.
He's young. He's like 17.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Dude, and
he's
then,
young. He's like 17.
He started making a video series of that he wanted to be a pro soccer player, right? And don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Anybody can become a soccer player, but I felt his dedication towards soccer wasn't as big as his dedication to bodybuilding. And when I have like the little ones, some 13, 12-year-olds telling me like, because they follow him a lot, like they follow kids their age. As a coach and as a player, it'd be like, you can, but I personally wouldn't choose that, because a soccer player is always running. They're burning calories like crazy. Right?
Yeah.
And so to maintain that physique that Tristan Lee has, it's almost close to impossible in a soccer player.
Yeah.
It'd
be possible, but you wouldn't.
I mean, it'd be possible, but you wouldn't be.
Exactly.
You won't be an elite soccer player. That's for sure.
Unless you're like.
But unless you're like, what's his name?
Adama Traore or something like that.
Adama Traore or something like that.
That dude's huge, bro.
And he says he doesn't.
That dude's huge, bro. But him.
I
don't believe that.
He
has to lift weights. You can't just be that big for no reason. But see, even him, he doesn't have a bodybuilding body. He has an athletic physique.
But I don't know. It's just
But I don't know. It's just like everyone wants to have muscles and stuff. But I guess because they're young, they're into that stuff. But don't give it too much importance. What matters is your performance. Because soccer is a performance sport. We're not here to look pretty and stuff.
Yourself, like 4 years ago.
Bro, I'm saying I'd be.
I'd be playing in Madrid if I thought like this when I was like 15. I swear.
Experiences help.
Oh well.
And then last question, because 3 of 4 of the questions were exactly the same thing. How to improve juggling.
Juggling.
Yeah.
Juggling.
You'd be surprised. That's what the questions they ask.
I'm just kidding. Well, yeah, I mean, honestly.
I'm just kidding. Well, yeah, I mean, honestly, that's the only thing you can do is just juggle
now
more.
that we have a quarantine.
Yeah.
Especially now that we have a quarantine. Right now is the perfect time to improve your juggling. And juggling is important because that works on your first touch.
I mean, just keep practicing.
So I mean, just keep practicing. What I do is like just set a number for that day, and then do that amount of juggling, and then next day add more and more. Like with me, everything is just progressive building. Everything I do, it's always to do more.
That's true.
So just do that.
Trying to find. There's a video question actually from one of the Academy players. Let me try to find it real quick.
Oh, it was Sam actually. She asked me. She was like, "What's the best goal you ever scored?"
That was a great question.
And I was like, "That was a great question."
Like, I don't know if she meant it like, what's the best
Like,
goal?
I don't know if she meant it like, what's the best goal as far as like,
craziest goal, like a chilena,
like the craziest goal, like a chilena or a free kick, but like the most meaningful for sure was the game winner in that semifinal with that Grande.
Like I kicked it and it went through the
Like
goalie's legs.
Like I kicked it and it went through the goalie's legs and like it was just crazy. And the whole the stadium we were playing at, it was like packed with
I was
people.
gonna tell you like.
It was dope.
I never thought the UPSL games would actually kind of get filled up. Like when we played against a scrimmage for preseason against Extra Grande, the stadium was packed. Like,
bro.
Shout out Las Cruces. Yeah, there was a lot of support from. Shout out Las Cruces, bro. They gave they were very welcoming too. But no, and then there's this guy. His name's Dan. He's with Protagonist Soccer.
I don't know if he owns
it. He like owns. I don't know if he owns it, but he's like a writer for them. It's like a
blog, I guess, like a soccer blog.
How to say? Like a blog, I guess, like a soccer blog online. And he would go to the games a lot, and he would just yell at the other players.
He's actually the one that wrote that article.
He's actually the one that wrote that article on me before I came here. I don't know if you've seen it.
Yeah, that was him.
All right, go ahead.
Hi, what do you like to do for fun?
Question was, what do you like to do for fun? Yeah.
What I like to do for fun?
That was a great question. That's the best questions we've had yet.
That was a great question. That's the best questions we've had yet.
His name is
shout out that kid, whoever he is.
Shout out Leo. Okay.
Leo. Shout out Leo. Okay.
For fun. Honestly, I'm pretty boring, to be honest. Like,
honestly, I'm pretty boring, to be honest. Like all I like to do is just play soccer. But now let's say like I have some free time, I'll just hang out with my girlfriend or something. Well, not right now because I'm in Spain. But like back home, like my thing was always do whatever you gotta do first, like in your day, and then you can go home and just chill. And me, like, since my sport is so like physically demanding, I don't like to go out and party and stuff. I'm always tired. My body always hurts. So something fun for me would just, I don't know, just going on a date with my girl and like somewhere. Like I love food. Like I can eat, bro. Like, I eat a lot. Like
just eating or like going to the movies.
So I mean, just eating or like going to the movies and stuff. You know, just healthy activities to keep me focused, but at the same time, something that would distract me from always playing. Yeah, because that could be bad too. Always thinking like, oh, I'm gonna do this. Like that's sometimes you need to just sit back and relax too.
Any more questions? Any more questions that you got?
That was a good question.
Honestly, I don't remember. It was so long ago.
Honestly, I don't remember. It was so long ago that I don't.
I think they were mostly like.
But I think they were mostly like.
Answered everything.
I pretty much answered everything really.
How did you get over there? And
yeah,
that's a lot of the.
It's mostly that.
It's mostly that. Because that's questions I had, honestly, like with players that I've seen come up and stuff. Because I follow a few like players in the USL and stuff, and like even some in the MLS. And like if I could talk to them and like I would have the same questions, like, hey, how'd you get there? Because honestly, like
obviously have to have the talent for it.
You obviously have to have the talent for it. Not necessarily like like you're born with it, but you gotta be a good player. Because I mean,
look at the stats, like only 1%.
Like look at the stats, like only 1% of people make it. So Yeah, like you gotta have that for sure.
You also gotta know how to network.
But then you also gotta know how to network.
The business side.
You gotta learn the business side of it.
Because it's not just.
It's like anything. It's a business. It's not just.
You yourself.
Yeah.
Your body's your business.
Like you're.
Like you're. Like I always tell my brother, like I'm a walking gym. Like I'm my own business. Like I gotta take care of myself.
But yeah, I don't know. I don't have any.
But yeah, I don't know. I don't have any.
This is actually
anything
a
else.
question from me to you. For example, do you think now that you're playing at a higher level than some of your ex-teammates and ex-players, has that break in friendships because of that?
It's a good one.
Yeah, I think.
I think not only just teammates, but I feel like
not only just teammates, but I feel like people in your life in general, you know. Because I have. You're never around. Because it's hard. Because you're never around anyone. And like when you are like, let's say I'm on a team and I do build a relationship with somebody, like I make friends and stuff, and then I gotta move. Obviously, like it affects it, you know, because then you can't see them. But I always keep in touch with everybody. Like
my old roommate from Garden City.
Even my old roommate from Garden City, he's from Scotland. Like I still talk to him a lot. Yeah, he's actually in Australia right now. He's stuck in Australia. He was playing in Scotland right now. He's stuck in Australia. And then I have a friend that lives in Manchester. I have people just from all over. Like I just keep in touch with them. But like as far as like actually like losing your friends, like it's it's kind of. It's a sacrifice you have to make.
And then for you, for example, like I know.
And then for you, for example, like I know you have a girlfriend and stuff. Like, let's say you were to find a team and move, and she can't go with you. Like, that's one of the things that like, it's like.
Do you have anything else to say? Any shout outs to anybody that you might give? I might even just delete that. Any shout out?
Honestly, I mean, just shout out to the city, man. I miss being home. There's nothing like it. And shout out to all the kids that are gonna be watching this, and to you, bro, for giving them this platform and to like actually hear it from somebody that's like them. Because I know we all look up to like the best players and stuff, but we can't relate to them. Like, we're not millionaires. Not yet, but yeah, man. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Recording right there. Give me 5 seconds.